Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely 1/12 scale embroidery frame. It's based on one that I have in real size. And for this project you just need a 3mm square strip wood, 1/8 of an inch square. And again, this is a beche, that's O-B-E-C-H-E, but there are other types of wood you could use, such as basswood, lime wood, gelatong, any sort of nice closed grain craft wood. And then for the frame, top and bottom, and the bottom support, I've used cocktail sticks. I also use cocktail sticks to apply the glue, which makes it easier to apply. The glue, again, I've used my Gorilla Wood glue. Bonds really quickly, so you don't have to wait around too long waiting for it to set. An eraser to remove the pencil marks. Nice sharp pencil for accurate marking. Ruler. Craft knife. You'll need a mitre block and saw for cutting your strip wood. And then for the wooden knobs on there, I've used normal wooden drawer knobs. These are 2.5mm, 3/32 of an inch. A couple of grades of sandpaper, a harsher one, about 120 grade, for shaping the wood, and then a fine one just for tidying it up. And I cut them into small pieces just to make them more manageable. And then for the actual embroidery piece there, you can either use a sort of fine embroidery canvas, or I've used this printable cotton. So this is 100% cotton, and you print onto it using an inkjet printer, and then they're on a sort of backing, so once your design is dried, you peel off the backing and then cut it to size. They're sold in packs of A4 sheets, and I get mine from Crafty Computer Paper, and I'll pop a link to the website below. And that's really handy for miniature work, so do have a look at their website. I think that's everything you're going to need. The cutting list is coming next, and then we'll get started. Okay, so we're going to begin by making the section that holds the embroidery. So take the two frame side pieces, and we're going to round off one side at each end. So hold the piece against the sandpaper at a 45-degree angle and just sweep it towards you, bringing it into an upright position as you do so. Don't need to press too hard. There. So I did about 5 sweeps there, and that's just rounded the end over. So do the same at the opposite end and on the same side of the wood. And then take a piece of your fine grade sandpaper and just tidy that up. So just sand over the rounded end. Remove any rough edges. Okay, and do that with both pieces. Okay, so lay the frame sides on your worktop so that the rounded ends are sort of facing upwards, and make a pencil mark 3mm or 1/8 of an inch from each straight end. Just a faint pencil mark, both ends of the wood. Like that. And then place them that way round so that the curved edges are facing outwards, and we're going to glue the frame top and bottom pieces into place so they sit just below those pencil marks, and so that they're sort of flush at the back of each side piece. So I've got some glue here which I've dispensed onto a piece of card. I'm just going to apply it with a cocktail stick tiny blob at each end of the frame top and bottom pieces. And then press the cocktail stick to the side piece. And bring the other side piece in and make sure the cocktail stick is sitting below the top pencil mark and above the bottom pencil mark. And this is all rather fragile, so just very carefully press it all together. Slide it along your worktop rather than trying to pick it up. And then that piece can be left to dry. Okay, so whilst that piece is drying, we're going to begin to make the legs. So you want to do exactly the same with the feet as we did with the frame side. So you want to round an end at each end of the wood. And again, using that same technique, you want to round just one end of each leg. Okay, so with the rounded ends sort of facing upwards, make a pencil mark in the centre of each of the feet, measuring across that bottom longest edge. And then take one of the leg pieces and with the rounded end sort of facing towards you, just apply a dot of glue to the bottom, to the flat edge, and then glue that to the foot so that the strip is sort of centrally over the pencil mark, like that, so the rounded end is here at the top. Leave that to dry and do the same with the remaining leg. Okay, so bringing your frame piece back in, just very carefully erase the pencil marks that we made on there. Like that. And then bring in your design, either your cotton or your cross-stitch canvas. And I've cut this 41mm or 1 5/8 inches across by 38mm high or 1.5 inches high. So stick with 1.5 inches high, but your design can obviously be as wide as the frame if you want it to. So if you've got a sort of landscape design, you can make it wider, but stick with 38, 1.5 inches high, because then that just nicely folds around the top and bottom of the frame. So I'm just going to peel that off of there carefully, and that's been drying now for quite a few hours. And then apply glue along the top and bottom of the frame to the width of your work. I'm just going to lay that there in the centre so I know where to apply the glue. And if you're not very good at measuring by eye, then just make a little pencil mark on the frame, top and bottom. I'll go about like that. And the same at the bottom. Just take some of that off there. And I'm just going to put a little bit around the back of the cocktail stick as well. And the bottom as well. And then lay your design on so that it's sitting in the centre. and just stretch it so you haven't got any creases, and then just fold it around the frame, top and bottom. This cotton lawn is very fine, so that's sticking quite easily on there. Okay, so now bring your leg pieces back in, and again erase the pencil marks that we made in the centre of the feet, and then turn the piece over so that the rounded edge is down on your worktop. Put that one to one side, and then we're going to glue the bottom support to the centre of the foot, so it's sitting centrally just below that leg. So just below the line where the leg joins the foot, like so. And then I haven't actually done a measurement for this because it's difficult, because it needs to be at an angle, but you just want to glue the frame to the top of that leg and sit in, I think that's a 45-degree angle there probably. So put a little bit of glue onto the leg, probably about 3 millimeters from the top, 1/8 of an inch, and then glue your frame probably about 9 millimeters or 3/8 of an inch of the way down. Doesn't have to be precise. And again, this piece is very fragile, so we're going to leave that to dry off for a moment, and then we'll come back and attach the remaining leg. And I just want to very carefully get rid of the excess glue before that begins to dry. Okay, so that's been drying now for a few minutes. So bring in the remaining leg, and again, so the flat side is facing up, just lay it there, and then apply a little bit of glue to that bottom support, and then to the top of the leg, again about 3 millimeters from the top. I'm actually going to attach the constructed piece to the leg rather than the other way around. Put that bottom support into place first, and then the frame, and just let the glue begin to take, and then we can stand it up and just check that the frame is in the right place. So again, once you've allowed a few minutes for the glue to sort of begin to take, very carefully turn the piece around and check that the frame looks right, looks straight, and is at the same angle on both sides. And if it's not, you've just got a few minutes before the glue completely sets just to manoeuvre it a little bit into place. I think that looks okay, and then you can again very gently squeeze it together. Okay, so finally we need to add our wooden knobs, and as these are intended as drawer knobs, they've got an insert at the bottom which inserts into the drawer, so we just want to snip that off. So just use your craft knife and roll it along and snip through, and then we can just apply the glue directly to the flat edge. So just apply a tiny blob of glue, and then you want to attach one of these first of all on the side of the foot where the bottom rail goes across, and just press it into place. And then another one where these two pieces meet here. And you can use tweezers for this if you find it a bit too fiddly. Just press that into place. And then do the same on the opposite side. And there is our completed piece. I hope you've enjoyed this project. If so, please do subscribe to my channel, as there's lots more to come. I'll be adding new tutorials every week from now on. And this is actually a project that I wanted to fit into my new book, Making Doll's House Miniatures in 1/12 scale, but in the end there wasn't enough room. But if you do enjoy making miniatures, you'll probably like my new book. Here it is here. It's available from Amazon, and I'll pop a couple of links below. There's over 50 step-by-step projects in here, so I hope you'll check that out. And for now, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.